We're on to the divisional round now. 2 steps away from playing on the biggest stage in sports. It's the Lions going up against the Falcons. With that, let's get you out to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Larry, we are just off of Centennial Olympic Park Drive at the home of the Falcons since 1992. It's the Georgia Dome here in downtown Atlanta. Ahead, we'll decide the second entrant to next week's NFC title game as we've got a great one in store between the Detroit Lions and the Atlanta Falcons. First carry for Giovanni Bernard. And he'll push forward for about 4 up to the 23. Ricardo Allen, the safety, makes the stop. And on this offensive unit, one guy that's proven himself early in the NFL is Eric Ebron.
A very reliable target for a quarterback. They always love tight ends because they're right in their sight lines. If you get it to this guy, though, he can take it the distance.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here.
Here we go now. Green, 39. Green.
They'll run again with Bernard. And some room to maneuver. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
And that's how you get started and open up a game. Really well-blocked play. Picked up a nice chunk of yardage. If you're the offensive line, that's exactly what you've talked about all week long in your meetings. Establish the line of scrimmage and take control. And they gave their running back plenty of room to rumble.
So they pick up the first down after the run, and now they approach for the fresh set. Toss, Bernard. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. So the Lions go backwards there, and unfortunately that's something they saw a lot in 2015. They had the fewest rushing yards of any team in the NFL.
It's one of those dubious titles that no one really wants to claim. Even teams who say, well, don't worry about running it because we throw it all the time. Being able to run it when you want to is a key to success in the NFL, and Detroit struggled doing that.
Green, 39 now. Lucky 56. Lucky 50.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Bernard churning, and he lost the football. Now call it luck or skill, whatever the case is. They're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. They don't care if it was luck or skill, but the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground. Whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you maintain possession, that's all you're looking for.
Here we go now. 3-19.
Hogan now. On the screen, Bernard. The screen good for 6, but it's not enough as it leads to a 4th down. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved, just as you said. They want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They come out here in the I.
Let's go.
The former Indiana Hoosier here, Tevin Coleman. And he finds enough of an opening to get this one back up to his 20. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. And a lot of the weight of this offense falls on the shoulders of the running back.
That's because the offense knows if they give him any openings, any opportunities, he can turn it into a big play at any time.
They will run again with Coleman. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. When we sat with the coaching staff a couple of days ago, they said attacking that defensive look with a run, something they wanted to do, it was effective.
And they were extremely confident, weren't they? Their planning, their preparation, they knew what they were going to get in that defense, and they were able to attack it accordingly.
Coleman now. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Ezekiel Ziggy Ansah with a tackle for loss. Just think he's still learning the game of football. Didn't play a heck of a lot of it in his native country, and at BYU was just scratching the surface before he hit the NFL.
Yeah, from Ghana, where he really liked soccer and basketball, but football's okay for him, right?
Yeah, I think it's worked out very well. Drafted on potential, he's realizing it here.
Ryan. And it's complete to Jacob Tamme. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
They brought in an extra defensive back here, so probably not expecting a run on 3rd and 3.
A good call.
Ryan now to throw on 3rd down. Swings it out to the flat for Freeman. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
This is Coleman, and he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Ah, yes, this is where the expression staying ahead of the chains comes into play. Good runs like that one set you up well for 3rd down.
2nd down following the run. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Coleman. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
The evaluation process in today's NFL does not take into account as much bulk as it does speed, and that's what we're seeing with the linebacker position. Those guys that can run, they can play at any spot because they can make plays on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage.
A dime look defensively for the Lions on 3rd. Now Ryan. It's caught. Jones. They were ready for what the defense was showing. They had prepared for that look, recognized it, went straight to the air, got the first. Well done.
Love the recognition because you can prepare for everything. You can watch the tape and put together your game plan, but you still have to understand what they're doing in terms of what they're showing and be able to adjust accordingly, and they did exactly that.
Coleman. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
Here's Coleman. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the 1st down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
Well, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Tevin Coleman, 24 yards. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking, beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time, which is punting the football.
But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take care of my offense? Well, the defense is taking care of them in a lot of ways. Now it's time for the offense to jump things up and help their defense out. Give them a little bit of rest.
Yeah, time for them to give them a rest. Took the words right out of my mouth. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Now that's the type of play that'll fire up a defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all, or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
Now Hogan. It's complete to Golden Tate. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2. They've got a 3rd down and a yard to start things out. So still in search of the first down after that last completion. On 3rd and short, the fullback Burton. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
And while it didn't work very well on that play, defenders on 3rd and short know it's going to be a quick read. And really, the quarterback's just going to turn around and hand it off. So that way, you're able to diagnose the play and try and get to the point of attack. But when you're dealing with a fullback, it's hard to knock him backwards.
The completion good. This is Eric Ebron. They'll get 17 yards there. And it'll be first down Lions. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver, because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective. Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. Hogan now. Over the middle, complete to Tate. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15, just shy of the 10.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. A first run for the backup Abdullah. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down at 6. So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive. here out of the gun. Flushed out right. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Vic Beasley in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year. Now it's Matt Prater on for the Lion field goal try. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football.
Please tell me this doesn't come off as snarky. But that's a relative chip shot. I mean, you've got to be able to execute that one. I don't care what they design on the other side about trying to block the kick. That should be 3 points on the board.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. If you're out at 55, 60 yards, low trajectory from here, you get that thing up. This should be 3.
Yeah, there's nothing routine in football, but this one really almost should be. Snap, hold, kick, ball through the post. Didn't happen that way.
Muscles him off. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Not a big run on the first play of the drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad play. Sometimes you're just trying to settle in, get your guys a little bit of contact, and get things moving.
They come up in an offset eye. Now Ryan on second down. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now third down. And he's certainly not a guy that drops that football very often.
Indeed, because that's a bit of a surprise. I know he's in the middle of some traffic and people, bodies all around him, but he usually has the focus to haul that one in.
And the D looking like they may blitz. On third down, Ryan. And that's caught by Tammy. And he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46. And a nice pitch and catch to pick up the reception against man coverage.
Both of them read how much yardage they needed, figured what they had to do, and were able to beat the man coverage for the completion.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They'll throw on first down with Ryan. Sanu with a grab over the middle. A gain of 6 there on first.
One of the feature points of the end route is being able to make a nice throw to the middle part of the field. And for a quarterback, that's one of the better throws and better looks that he'll get. But he has to be careful not to wait too long and let his receiver wander into some tough territory. If he's late with the ball, he can get his receiver hit and hit hard.
They'll toss it to Coleman. They find some open field here. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line.
Any team that runs the toss and runs it successfully, that means they win the battle on the edges. That means you seal the edge in order to let your back get to the corner. They got it done there for a very nice game.
And they'll go on the ground. About 3 yards there to the 27.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
See if they stay on the ground for second down. They come up in an offset eye. Here's Coleman on the toss. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. He's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
And now inside the red zone, the offense will operate.
Ready. Hey, 525.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
A 1-yard gain could look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time.
Now they'll throw it with Ryan. A minute 57 to go in this first half. Back with more NFC playoff action after this. Play number 9 on the drive coming up, and they need 9 yards on third down. They'll come out in the pistol. On third down, Devontae Freeman. And the stop will come inside. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. On is Nick Novak now to try the field goal. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And Novak's kick is good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. And that field goal caps an 11-play drive.
That's a lot of offense to run to only get 3 points, but they'll take them. Anytime you can put anything on the board, you run to your sideline somewhat happy.
Here's Bosher to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. Well, let's face it, we've been there, we've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again?
Looking for Crabtree, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
I don't care what the emphasis is in the NFL at any given time. Every defense is still going to say their #1 goal every game is stop the run. And right now, they're not doing that. And that really chips away at your confidence.
And to give this time to the tailback. And a short gain here down to the 22. They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. It leaves them with 3rd and just a yard.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
And the Lions going with an extra DB here on 3rd down. And the defense definitely showing blitz here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. That one good for 17 yards. And now they've got it 1st and goal.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage. And we're still in the 2nd quarter.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. 1st and goal from the 5. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Tevin Coleman with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. He's got it, and it's 17-0. And the Falcons will extend their lead. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And some changes here as the D-line separates some. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He's going to air one out. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now.
Well, partner, I guess that answers the question about whether they're going to sit on it or not.
It does. Now we'll see if they try that again.
Yeah, I think what we find on plays like that, when you take that shot, if you're unsuccessful, then you go way more conservative to finish the half, you know? I think that's the way they'll go.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Now Hogan. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. And the offense looks to pick up the first here on 3rd after that incompletion.
Here we go now.
Hogan now. And he's going to be wrapped up and driven down. And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. They'll bring a receiver in motion left.
Get up.
Final play of the half. It's Ryan surveying the field. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So we've come upon halftime here in this NFC divisional round matchup as we send you down to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando, where we find our man Larry Ridley with our halftime report. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They'll start out on the ground with Coleman. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here. They'll come up now in the Wildcat package.
Come on, let's go. What?
They direct snap it to Irvin. Now a handoff looking right. And some room to work. And a cutback right sideline. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A big play there out of the running game. 38 yards.
Well, partner, I have to say they called him in the right defense there. Nickel set. 5th defensive back on the field. And they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
And there's a nice stop for the defense. They've had a tough time containing this guy all game long, but maybe they can build a little bit off of that play, a little bit of confidence, a little bit of momentum. Yeah, every now and then you can actually tackle that guy.
On second down, Freeman shreds the tackle and able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the 3rd quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
They come up in an offset eye. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. So they're operating in the red zone. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They come out here in the eye. Now they'll run it on the toss. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. Well, they know how to protect the pass, but sometimes cornerbacks, they can also stop the run, can't they?
Is that what we call a complete corner? Yeah, because we're so used to these guys just being defenders in the pass game. How about the guys who can come up and make the tackles? That's what we just saw there for no gain, too.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Just looking at it from a defensive perspective, when you break the huddle in the red zone, tight end is one of the guys you've got to key on because quarterbacks want the ball in their hands fast in this position, and they want to get it to someone. And in this case, he had the play. They just didn't complete it.
So a good kick there, and they wrap up the drive by putting 3 on the board.
And, you know, let's face it, you're not always going to come away with 6. Defense in the NFL are just too good. But you've got to come away with something. And there, they get 3.
Here's Bosher to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now.
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
A good pickup there on first as the screen pass gets him 8.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. And the offense moving quickly to the line.
All right, now, look at 56. Look at 56.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
And how about the call here? They need 2 yards in their own territory on 4th down, and they're going to go for it.
Set. Green 39. Green 39.
Going with their tight end on 4th. And brought down, but not before he was able to break the tackle, and the extra effort moves the sticks.
Tell you what, I don't think I agree with the call to go for it, but I will be the first to give him credit because every book in the world tells you to punt in that situation, but he trusted his instinct, and as a result, his guys are going to get a new set of downs.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's got time. He's going to look deep down the field, and it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down. Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Looking for Tate, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want it in with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that weren't happy with it. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Tevin Coleman saving his best for the playoffs with his third touchdown of the game. And the Falcons use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. Shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He gets this one to Michael Crabtree. And he's brought down after a good game. He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage.
And that's where it gets difficult for a defender, Brandon. You go to your spots on the field that you have to cover, and when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. And they're going to speed things up here. They'll look to throw here. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. Down and 12. One receiver left, 3 to the right. On third down, he'll drop to throw. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. A great read, and it's picked off. And the return stops just a few yards shy of midfield. They'll spot the ball at the 47-yard line. And here now come the Falcons. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
And Tammy with it over the middle. And give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
Okay, when the big guy runs a corner route, you're asking a lot no matter who's covering him. Doesn't matter whether it's a linebacker or a defensive back. Yeah. He usually has the advantage because of his body type.
On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll make it a second down.
I'm going to show my age here a little bit. We used to talk about running backs catching the ball as safety valves. Nowadays, they're a big part of the passing offense.
Quit acting like you're so old. You're only 65. Now a handoff as they run left side. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's third down.
Oftentimes when a guy has a game like this, he's going to take his offensive line out to dinner afterwards. But after a play like that, he may tell them, instead of getting the steaks, guys, we might have to go for the hot dogs.
On third down, Ryan. He goes underneath to Freeman. A solid gain of 15 yards, and the sticks move. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
And now the offense operates in the red zone.
Hey. 4 down.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Give them 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn them a fresh set of downs.
I know anytime you watch a team run the ball really well, there's a pinball effect, people bouncing off of each other. There's also some things of beauty in there. And you see these nice, explosive, strong runs. And this guy, he knows how to carry the football really well and continually wants the football. Why? He knows the offensive line's going to give him great effort, and he gives great effort himself to finish off runs.
He can't bring him down.
The weight room does work.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Back now here on EA Sports. Defense in a good spot. Let's see how the offense responds with a 2nd and 13 now.
4 down. Check.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Only a couple yards there, and that's going to set up a long 3rd and goal. Offense trying to avoid stalling out, facing a 3rd and 10. On 3rd and goal, Ryan. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. Oh, very close to a turnover there in the end zone. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today.
And that's why defenders are often frustrated offensive guys. Actually made the catch, looked good doing it, but couldn't get his feet down in order to finish off the takeaway.
So 3 points is the outcome, but probably not what they're looking for given the drive that they were on.
Yeah, things were looking good. You had it 1st and goal, but then the offense sputters a bit, and they're forced to settle for a field goal.
And he'll probably wish he reconsidered here. It'll cost him 10 yards now with a new rule as he's down at the 15-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field.
Single.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. A dump off for Abdullah. And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives him a new set of downs. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. 2nd down and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue, 90.
Hogan now. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Looking deep downfield. And got his man complete. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Golden Tate, 65 yards. And the Lions were able to draw a bit closer.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And a good job here by the Falcons. Their hands team able to recover it. Now they're down big here in the 4th. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
And some space here. And he carries this one all the way down to the 9. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
I'm still an old-school football guy, and anytime you see a big-time running play, that fires me up. And if I'm on offense right now, in the position they're in now, inside the 10-yard line, I think after the way they've run it, they've set themselves up for a good play-action pass opportunity right here.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. Now Ryan going to give it to Freeman. And he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
Defense may be thinking pass. They come out in the nickel on 3rd and goal. They'll try and run. Freeman. And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. Devontae Freeman taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Falcons add on.
But they decided to run it in and got it done on 3rd and goal. A lot of times that's a passing play.
And the kicker just has to come out for the PAT. He can breathe a sigh of relief as well, right?
Although I don't know if he's really breathing a sigh of relief. I think he likes to put 3 points on his ledger.
Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll probably wish he reconsidered here. It'll cost him 10 yards now with a new rule as he's down at the 15-yard line. So out now come the Lions. Last time they were out, they scored. Still trailing here, though, so some work to do.
But it's okay in terms of mindset. Because they scored the last time, they're not quite as worried about being down on the scoreboard because now their confidence is a little bit higher. They feel like they've got something going, and they feel like they can attack again and put more points on the board.
Are you scoreboard watching if you're the offense, or are you just focused on this drive?
We wouldn't be telling the truth if we said that they didn't scoreboard watch. Everyone does it to some extent, but you've got to set it aside right now and just focus on this series. That'll take care of the scoreboard if they punch it into the end zone.
Ebron caught left side. It's a pickup of 19, and it's good enough for a Detroit first down. So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage, so as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play.
And on 2nd and 10 now.
Here we go. Green, 39. Detroit.
Now Hogan. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Michael Crabtree, the intended receiver. And now it's 3rd down.
There's so much precision in an offense, especially when you're throwing the ball. And in an out route, plenty of it. How about the quarterback hitting his back foot, ball's out of his hands, receiver making his break, making his cut. He's got to time up perfectly. Not always easy to do.
Just let him a little too much.
Yeah, I remember back in the good old days, I was talking to a quarterback, and he said everything they did was on the count system. So when he took a snap, he counted in his head for certain routes, different time frames for each one, and he knew if the ball wasn't out of his hand at that point, he'd better eat it because the play was dead.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
Here we go.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Ebron's got it. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And the Falcons defense stands tall. They'll get the football back. And the Falcons now making their way back out onto the field. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. And now here's a carry heading left. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
As a defender, you've seen that play work all game long. What you have to do, though, is stay with your keys and not overrun plays. Because once you do that, they send you in one direction and come back in the opposite.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Partner, I think there's a lesson there. Some days you're just having a really tough time, and for the defense, today has been that day. But after that play, what do you learn? You can still make plays even when the other guy's having success against you.
Defense sinking pass. They've got the nickel set out on 3rd and 6. It's caught. Jones. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know that playing people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Completing it here to Marvin Jones. 12 yards on the pickup, and the Lions are going to have a 1st. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there, but I like the discipline they showed to stay in their proper areas and then make the tackle.
Now back to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. A great read, and it's picked off. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right, and sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win.
They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages. 2nd down following the run. And again here, we'll see the Wildcat.
Come on, let's go!
They go Wildcat. It's Urban. Now a handoff here to his running back. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
So while the offense has had a big day, no one on that side of the ball is excited about seeing a loss like that. Their goal, to make every play positive. And when you have a bad one like that, your next goal is to not let it spiral into more.
They toss to Freeman. And some room to run now. It'll be a gain of 16 and give them a 1st down as well.
Well, I'd say that run's pretty emblematic of what we've seen all day long. No matter what they've done on offense, this offensive line has controlled the line of scrimmage, giving them time to throw it, run it, do whatever they wanted. That's why there are points up on the board. And right now, the psyche of the offense, we're in control, and we can do whatever we feel like doing out here on the field.
And not much running room. Down to the 32. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
And Brandon, is really no surprise to see them running the ball here. They've got the lead. There's not much time left. They just want to keep the clock moving and seal the win.
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. And on the ground they go with the running back. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Falcons here as we say so long from Atlanta.